relax, knees bent and feet flat on our mat, about hip distance apart. I welcome you to close your eyes if you want to, and maybe place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest or your lower ribs, and just settling into our mat here, taking some nice deep breaths, and really becoming aware of any sensations in the body, whether those sensations are comfortable or not as comfortable. Feeling how your body is resting on the mat. On the next exhale, starting to make it a little bit more exaggerated. Exhaling as if you're blowing out your birthday candles. And maybe on that exhale, starting to bring your rib cage down and in towards your midline. And as you inhale, you're just relaxing that sensation. Exhaling audibly. On the next exhale, holding that activation in your center, feeling with your hands that there's just a gentle work coming in, and then continuing normal breathing here. So feeling as if you can still expand your rib cage and still hold a little bit of work in your center. Expanding the rib cage, inhaling everything in and exhaling, drawing everything, belly button in towards your spine. And one last one like this. So breathing normally and activating through the core. Keep and hold that activation in your center, but bring your hands down by your sides. We're going to start with a little pelvic tilt here. So all you're doing is tucking that tailbone first and thinking about your lower back starting to press down into the mat, drawing your lower abs in as if you're wearing a tight pair of pants and trying to zip them up, and then start to just rest that tailbone back down. Again, exhale, lifting up. Just a small tilt, and then lower down. Being very aware of this motion, and being very aware of the work that you're doing. Feet are nice and light on your mat, so make sure you're not pressing your feet down and using your legs to stabilize. On this next tilt, we're going to start to tilt up a little bit higher. Maybe hovering that low back right off your mat, and then slowly lower back down. Each time you lift, we're going to lift up a little bit higher, peeling each vertebrae off at a time. Good. Thinking about segmentally rolling through the spine, getting one segment higher each time. Taking it now to about a halfway lift. We're going to pause at this halfway position, and we're going to pulse up a little bit higher and faster, squeezing the glutes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly roll down. Perfect. On this next one, rolling up again about halfway or to a point that you feel comfortable with. From here, we're going to start lifting one heel up off of the mat and then placing it back down, alternating sides, one heel up and then lower back down. Trying to keep everything else nice and still as you do this. On this next one, maybe hovering that foot off of your mat, coming into a small march. Gently placing your foot back down, Making sure your hips stay level. Maybe your hands come to your hips to make sure that nothing's rocking side to side. This march doesn't have to be very big, so you don't have to lift your leg all the way up. Good, last one on each side. And slowly roll down, one vertebrae at a time. When you reach the tailbone, hug your knees into your chest. And rock side to side. From here, we're going to take a tabletop position through the legs. So knees directly over top of the hips, knees bent at 90 degrees. Should be able to see your toes maybe right above your knees. Hands relax down by your sides, taking a few deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Being aware and noticing the position of your spine, the position of your rib cage. Maybe feeling around if it feels like your rib cage is open, if there's a gap, or if it's tucked down and in. On this next one, extending one leg nice and long, about 45 degrees, and then bending it back in. Alternating sides, exhale, extend long and reach. Inhale back in. Good. Last one on each side. And take a quick break, hugging those knees into your chest again. Coming back into our tabletop, we're going to do one of my favorite series here. So starting off with hands resting on your thighs, kind of towards your knees. As you exhale, you're going to gently press your hands down against your thighs in the direction of your feet, and your legs are just going to stay totally still. So nothing is actually moving, but we're matching gentle pressure between the arms and the legs, holding and breathing. You don't have to push that hard, so if it feels like your hip flexors are starting to really work, just lighten up your pressure. From here, we're going to crisscross the hands. Now the hands are coming a little bit more towards the insides of your legs, and the direction that you're pushing is both down and out to the side, like an X. So exhale, push down and out, feeling a little bit more work through the inner thighs. Breathing here. Good. And then the third one of the series is everyone's favorite. You're going to wrap your hands around your shins. Your knees are going to push away from the center of your body, and your hands are going to pull in towards your chest. You should feel a nice opening sensation for the low back. This one, not so much about the core and its activation, but it's an opposing motion to get some release and opening. Make sure your head, neck, and shoulders are still relaxed. And then the final one of this series is the same as the first. Hands coming back to parallel. Just a gentle press down, feeling that activation maybe even quicker than you did before. And almost like a locking in sensation. Perfect, and relax it down, hugging those knees into your chest. We're going to do a quick release for the hamstrings, so hands coming behind the knee, just clasping together, hugging your knee into the chest as much as you can, so that as you straighten the leg, you're not able to get all the way straight, but you're pushing the back of your knee against your hands, and hold. Bend the knee and relax. Exhale, push and pull. Maybe getting a little bit straighter than last time. And release. Last one. Exhale, push and pull. On this last one, some ankle circles. Can't see my foot here, but rolling that ankle around in a straight-ish leg position. And then switching sides, clasping your hands underneath the opposite knee. Exhale, push, pull, straighten as much as you can, maybe feeling some shakiness coming through that leg. Again, exhale, straighten. And on this last one, straightening as much as you can, and then small little ankle circles, getting the nerves throughout the legs warmed up here. Perfect. From here, we're going to work and focus on some of the lower abdominals. So now that we lengthened the hamstrings a little bit, we're going to try our best to bring legs straight up towards the ceiling as best as you can. From here, we're going to start a small little lift. So hands can be relaxed down by your sides, and you're going to pretend like there's a string attached from your toes, pulling you straight up towards the ceiling, and just lifting the tailbone up. You're trying your best not to use momentum, and you're trying your best not to rock towards your face, but just focusing in on those lower abs, small little lifts. And if this isn't working out, just trying your best to make that motion happen and thinking about those lower abs. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lengthen the arms and legs out long, taking a nice stretch in opposite directions. From here, we're going to prepare for a full body roll up all the way to sitting. Starting off with a nice inhale through the nose. As you exhale, arms, head, neck, and shoulders. Start to curl and peel off of the ground. Maybe for this first one, you're getting up as high as you can, and then slowly rolling back down. Maybe the second time, getting a little bit higher up. Exhale, reaching, pulling belly button in. And slowly lowering. And if you can, sitting all the way up. And if not, just again, lifting up as high as you can. Folding over those legs at the top. And then from here, restacking the spine all the way up before you roll back down again. Tucking the tailbone under, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Another full body roll up. Exhale, arms, head, neck, and shoulders. This time, maybe flexing your feet as you fold forward. From here, if you weren't able to make it all the way to sitting, go ahead and press yourself to a sitting position. We're going to practice the bottom part of that roll. So arms right in front, stacking your spine, almost as if you're being punched in the belly. We're going to start to roll back about halfway, or to a point where you feel like you can control and come back up, and then restacking the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, one on top of the other. Again, exhale, curl down, belly button pulling in, and restack. On this next one, we're going to pause halfway in between here. So find a position that it feels like you can hold. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, and if you need to adjust, chest 1 inch higher or lower, feel free. From here, we're going to inhale one arm straight up towards the ceiling, and exhale, lower it down. Inhale, alternating arms up, exhale, down. Good. From here, pausing in the center again. This time we're going to inhale, open both arms wide. Exhale, both arms close. 2 more like that. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last one. Good. Slowly roll forward and reach over those toes. Relaxing your head, shaking it out. One more set in that same position. This time we're going to widen our arms long to a T. From here, you're going to exhale and reach all the way over, giving yourself a nice high five, and then all the way back out into your T. Exhale all the way over. Give yourself a high five, and then back out. Make sure you're not cheating by bringing that hand forward. Try to give as much rotation as you can before you twist. Last one here. Good, and roll forward towards those toes. From here, we're going to widen our feet just a little bit, about the width of the mat. Sitting up as tall as you can. Arms again coming out to a T. Exhale, we're going to twist and rotate, pulsing for 3, 2, 1, and center. Exhale, pulse, 2, 3, and center. Pretend like you're a towel, and as you wring out that towel, you're getting taller. On this next one, we're going to add an optional little lift here. So we're going to twist, 2, 3, and then the back hand is going to come to the mat. If you can and if you want to, a little lift with the hips. And then back down. Restack the spine. Exhale, twist, 2, 3, and an optional hand down and hips lift and hover. Last one on each side. Exhale, twist, 2, 3, hand, and lift. And last one. Good. Fold forward in between those legs. From here, walk both hands over to one foot, framing a leg, one hand on each side. And just bringing your nose towards your knee as best as you can. Taking a nice deep breath. Walking both hands on over to the other leg, framing one hand on either side, and nose coming towards knee best you can. Really expanding through the chest and that upper back as you inhale. Good. Shimmy your legs back to the center. And we're going to scoot forward on the mat just a little bit. Arms coming in front again, rounding your chest again. Belly button pulling in, shoulders away from your ears. Toes are lifted, heels are down. We're going to start with some marches here. So one leg lifts up into tabletop and then comes back down. Keep switching here. And if this feels okay, maybe hovering both legs. If you're still working on the marches, feel free to continue. Otherwise, holding and balancing in your boat pose, trying to find stillness here. Feeling all these tiny muscles contract in your center. Just breathing. And relax down in butterfly, soles of the feet coming together, knees wide, and nose towards your toes. For this second set, we're going to find our boat pose again, lifting both legs or continuing the marches. Option here to bring your hands towards your shins or keep them hovering. We're going to round the back as much as you can, looking at your belly button, and we're going to roll back and then pause at the top. Finding that stillness again. So trying not to use momentum, trying not to bring the head forward or pull the arms forward. Just maintaining this position, using the core to help lift. Last one. Hold and balance. And then back into your butterfly. Soles of the feet together, nose to toes. From here, taking a nice twist, right arm coming up towards the ceiling. Inhale, eyes looking towards that hand. And switching sides, left hand towards the ceiling, looking towards the left hand. Nice inhale and exhale. Back to the center. We're going to go ahead and bring the legs nice and long. Slowly roll all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing to touch. Perfect. Rolling over onto your side. Setting up for our sideline position. From here, you can either have your head resting in your hand or your head on your arm, whatever is most comfortable. Hips are stacked, one on top of the other. Belly button is pulled in. Top leg is going to lift up at the height of the top hip, and it's going to try to stay there for the whole series. Top hand somewhere other than your mat, so either top hip or behind your head. Thinking about lengthening that top leg long as if someone is pulling it away from the center of your body. From here, we're going to inhale, kick to the front for 2. Exhale, kick to the back for 2. Only kicking as far as you can while controlling it through the center. Everything in your upper body is relatively still. Inhale forward. Exhale back. On this next one, starting little bicycle kicks, bend and extend, reach long and straight to the back. Every time that leg straightens, think of it as also lengthening and reaching. And from here, reverse direction, straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. Last one here, hold long and lengthen small circles, about the size of a tennis ball or baseball. This rotation is coming from the hip socket, not the ankle, and reverse. For 3, 2, 1. Stack the top leg over the bottom, bend in just a little bit more, and then both feet are going to lift up. So we're here for a high clamshell. Maybe top hand comes back to the top hip to monitor what goes on here. Top knee only is going to lift up as high as you can, and then slowly back down. Exhale, lift, lower. Making sure that as you lift the top knee, this top hip isn't rocking back. So we're not trying to move through the spine, we're just trying to move through the hip. On this next one, we're going to add a little kick here. So you're going to lift the top knee up, extend the bottom of the top leg long, and then bend and lower. Good. So again, it's lift, kick, in, and down. 2 more like that. Lift, kick, in, and down. Last one. Good. Lower both feet down. This time, knees are going to stay together and stacked. Top foot only is going to lift for a reverse clamshell. So, make sure that as you lift the top foot, that your top knee isn't just coming down towards the floor. It's staying right on top so that you're really rotating through the hip. Check back in with the core and make sure it's nice and pulled in. Last one. Good. On this last one, hug your knees up a little bit higher towards your chest. Rest your head down on your arm. We're here for our open book stretch. This is one of my favorites. You're going to take your top arm, lengthen it long away from the center of the body, and then reaching it up towards the ceiling, you're going to slowly start to open towards the ceiling, looking toward that hand. Back up and over. You can play around with the angle of the arm. Maybe it feels better to have it straight. Maybe it feels better to have it bent. Maybe it feels better to have it more toward your head or more toward your hips. Feeling a nice stretch through the chest and rotation through the spine. Last one. Perfect. From here, coming back over, we're going to prop up now onto your forearm so that your elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Your shoulder is away from your ear, and then your knees come down just a little bit. So hips are at about 45 degrees. We're going to start here with a modified side plank on our elbow. So when you're ready, we're going to exhale and lift the hips. Nice straight line all the way from your head to your knees, and then slowly lower down. Exhale, lift, lengthen, and lower. 2 more. And last one. Good. Propping yourself up even more, we're going to come to a crisscross position. And then taking a nice stretch over to one side, anchoring your hip down. Either hand or elbow comes in contact with your mat. From here, top shoulder starts to round forward, exhaling. And then inhaling as you look up towards the ceiling, chest opening. Exhale. Inhale, open, last one. Perfect. From here, either hand or elbow coming to the other side, reaching up and over, nice long stretch. Making sure that that opposite hip doesn't pop up off of your mat. And then top shoulder is going to round forward. And inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, looking towards the ceiling. Last one. Perfect. Swing your legs around so that you're laying down on your opposite side to start again for our side lying series. Again, head can be resting in your hand or on your arm. Belly button pulled in, hips stacked one on top of the other, and then that top leg lengthening long as if someone is pulling your leg. From here, inhale, kicking to the front for 2. Exhale, kicking to the back for 2. Top hand, preferably somewhere other than your mat. When your hand is on your mat, you're using your arm to stabilize rather than your core. Try your best to keep your chest and your shoulders still. If they're moving a lot, maybe make your kick smaller. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. On this next one, starting out a bicycle kick, bend and extend, reach long. And on this next one, reversing directions, bend and extend to the back, straight to the front. And lengthen long, hold that leg lifted, small circles. Drawing those circles on the opposite wall there. And reverse directions. Last two. And one. Lower the top leg on top of the bottom. Bend in just a little bit more so that your hips are at 45 degrees. And then keeping your hips stacked here, we're going to lift both feet up off of the mat. Exhale, lift the top knee only, feet stay glued together, and lower back down. Making sure that you're still engaged through the core and that your top hip doesn't roll back as you lift. Feeling this work right here. On this next one, we're going to add that kick again. So lift, kick and lengthen, bend in and down. Lift, kick, in and down. Two more. Kick or lift, kick, in and down. Last one. Perfect. Lower both feet down. This time keeping knees stacked together, just lifting the top foot only. Really trying to get some work into the internal rotators of the hip. And last one, good. Pull those knees even closer to your chest. Rest your head down onto your arm for our favorite open book stretch. Top hand is going to come long, reaching away. And then reaching towards the ceiling, eyes following your hand, opening up as much as you can or as much as you want to. Option to hold there or continuing to fold back over. Reaching long first and up and over. Noticing that maybe you're able to get a little bit further each time. Perfect. Coming back up and over, pressing up onto your forearm here. Send those knees down, back to 45 degrees. Elbow right underneath your shoulder, shoulder pressing down away from your ear, and then lifting the hips for that side plank. Exhale, lift and lengthen, and slowly lower. Exhale, lift, hold, long line. Head is neutral. Two more like that. And last one. Good. Swinging your legs forward again, back into our crisscross. From here, clasping your hands, and then reaching your hands forward as your upper back goes backwards. Inhaling and expanding those upper ribs right in the back of the body. Option may be to twist from side to side, getting a deeper stretch on one side and then the other. And then from here, opening the chest, hands come back behind you, inhaling and lifting. Maybe chin coming slightly up towards the ceiling. Perfect. From here, we're going to come down onto our bellies. So swinging the legs over, finding a nice long position here. Arms overhead, legs long. Head stays nice and neutral. From here, we're going to lift the belly button up off of your mat, tightening your core, and then reach opposite arm and opposite leg so long away from the center of the body that they lift up and away. Slowly lower back down. Exhale, reach long first, and then lift. Keep switching sides. No pressure or tension in the low back. Head is neutral, it's coming with you. On the next one, starting to speed up the lifting. So we're gonna lift and lift for 3, 2. On the next one, flutter kicking both arms and legs, reaching as long as you can. Head neutral for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. We're going to prop up onto our forearms here. And if that's not comfortable, take it to a wide elbow position, a little bit lower. From here, we're going to press shoulders away from your ears and lengthen the neck long. And then, if you can, we're going to start to lift the belly button up off of the mat while your hips stay down. So exhale, just pull everything up and in as much as you can, finding length through your spine from the top of your head all the way to the tailbone. Breathing normally here as you hold. And then slowly lower down, relaxing everything. And again, setting that up, shoulders pressing down away from your ears, lengthen the neck long. And then exhale, lift that belly button up and in. It's a small, small motion, but see if you can get that sensation of lifting and breathing here. And relax down. One more like that, shoulders down and away, neck long, and then lift belly button up. Hold and breathe normally. Good, relax everything down, hands coming right underneath the shoulders. Press back into child's pose. Knees can come wide if that's more comfortable, and forehead relaxes down onto your mat. Taking a few deep breaths here. On this next one, coming up onto your hands and knees, hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Starting to come through some cat-cows here. And exhale, round the back, looking at your belly button, tucking your tailbone down, and then arching your back, letting your chest fall, looking upwards. Few more just like that. On this next one, we're going to add a little bit of a different movement. So as you come into your arched back, keep looking upwards, but start to shift your weight a little bit more towards your knees, as if your hips are coming toward your heels. And then shift yourself back to center, and then round your back again. Maybe this time shifting weight a little bit into your hands, rounding your upper back and pressing your hands through your mat. Shift back to the center, arch, hold that arch as you slightly shift your weight backwards. You should feel the stretch come a little bit higher up towards your head as you shift backwards. Last one here, round, and maybe shift it forward. Good, find the center again, flat back, even the head and the neck as well. So make sure your head's not drooping down or sticking up. Think about the back of the neck reaching towards the ceiling. Coming into our bird dog here, so opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching long. Think about it first, reaching along your mat, and then maybe lifting just a little bit up. And coming back down. Switching sides, opposite arm, opposite leg lifting. Reaching. And down. Think about how your spine can stay absolutely neutral. If you lift too high, it's possible you could start to bring an arch through your low back. So you're trying to prevent that. On this next one, we're going to add a little crunch in towards the center. So as you exhale, elbow coming towards your knee. Inhale, reach long, same side, lengthening. Exhale, closing. Last one. Good. Place that back down. Same thing on the other side. Reach long, lift, and then exhale, curl in towards the middle, elbow to knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last one. Perfect. Relaxing back into child's pose. Hips towards your heels. Nice deep breath. From here, back onto hands and knees. Coming for a nice little rotation here. So inhale, right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread through, maybe right ear coming towards your mat. Inhale, open and reach. Exhale, twist. Last one. Same thing on the other side. Left hand reaching up, lengthening as long as you can. And thread it through. Last one. Perfect. We're going to find a plank position, option to come onto your forearms, option to come also onto your knees. So whatever feels best. I'll be on my forearms, and really we're going to start in just a nice hold. So finding your position, one leg straight and then the other, or again, you can be on your knees. What we're looking for is a nice straight line all the way from your heels through the top of your head. Again, head is nice and neutral. It's not drooping down and it's not sticking up. Lengthen the back of the neck long. Breathing here. If you feel your form start to droop, take a break. Breathing here for last 3, 2, and 1. Coming down onto those knees. If you are on your hands, shaking out those wrists if you need to. Again, another set here. We're going to hold in our plank. Finding that good, strong form. From here, we're going to start to just bend one knee and then the other. Good, back to the center. We're going to do some hip dips. So one hip down, center, and the other hip down, center. Making sure we're not rotating through the whole leg. So if you can peek down, make sure that your heels aren't rocking from side to side. Really trying to isolate this movement so that it's just the hips and the pelvis rotating and back up. Last one on each side. And relax down, take a little break. From here, let's go ahead and do one more set. This time, we're going to lift one leg up at a time. So if you can, be on your feet, we're just going to tap one out to the side, along the outside of your mat, and then back in. And then tapping the other side out and in. Keep alternating. No change in the position of your hips, meaning that it's not lifting or lowering. Last one on each side. Perfect. Lower it down and shake it out. Good. From here, coming into a low lunge position. So I'm starting off with my left foot in front. We're going to square off the hips and then slowly start to reach those hips forward and then a few inches back. So more of a dynamic stretch here, coming forward and back. On this next one, option to straighten out the front leg and flex the front foot. Taking a nice flat back as you fold forward and up. Forward and up. If this is a lot of pressure on your knee, you can always bring your hands